friends, my name is Kim. Welcome back to Healing Place Cottage. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm so happy to have you with me today. Today we are going to make something that I have been craving, creamy chicken and corn chowder. So we'll go right in and get started by melting a quarter of a cup of butter. I've already cooked my chicken and that's getting cool. And as usual, I have some of the ingredients, but not all of the ingredients. So we're going to make some substitutions. And up first, in a large pot, melt butter over medium heat. Add red bell pepper, onions, jalapenos, and saute together for about 3 minutes. So I have orange pepper. We're going to go ahead and get that chopped up. And I am halving this recipe. So it calls for 3 cups of cooked chicken. I went ahead and did 2 chicken breasts, and we'll see what that turns into. I'm adding a half of an orange pepper. We'll go ahead and get our onion chopped. So how is the weather for you? It would not be Ohio if I didn't talk a little bit about the weather. I believe right now it is 13 degrees, which is balmy compared to the past couple of days. I think the high yesterday was maybe 8. And I know that when I woke up on either Sunday morning or yesterday morning, it was 1 degree. No, it was -1. I think that might have been Sunday. So I'm not complaining. We haven't had a very cold winter or a very bad winter at all. Very little snow, and that continues to be true, although my family always says when it's this cold, it's too cold to snow. So I don't know if that's true, or if that's just a wives' tale that my family believes. But we're not getting very much snow, so maybe it is true. I don't have a jalapeno pepper. I do have a poblano. So we're going to put about a quarter of a poblano pepper in this. I don't want it to be too spicy. And if any of you were here when I made that quiche that had poblano peppers in it, that was the hottest thing that I've ever personally made, and I don't want a repeat of that. So I'll add about a quarter of a poblano pepper in this soup. May not be enough, but I think maybe it will be. So as I mentioned, how is the weather for you? Are you in a cold climate, a warm climate? Tell me about where you are. I follow, I've mentioned it before, Little Mountain Ranch, and she is in British Columbia, Canada. And they're really cold. They had -40 degrees Celsius, which I looked that up, which is similar to, I think in that range at the -40s, we almost equal out. So I think -40 degrees Celsius and -40 degrees Fahrenheit are the same there. I don't fully understand how Fahrenheit and Celsius work. I know 32 degrees for us for Fahrenheit is freezing, and 0 is freezing for Celsius, and that's about the extent of what I know. But I know -43 degrees is pretty cold, whether it's Fahrenheit or it's Celsius. gonna do just one more strip of poblano for good measure, just because it doesn't look like I have all that much in there. I've only ever made this once. I used to go to a craft show at a local church, and they had chicken corn chowder, and that was the first I'd ever heard of it. It's not something that my family ate. My family ate nothing spicy, so if there were jalapenos in it, that would have taken it off the books for my family, because they just wouldn't have made that. So we'll let this cook for about 3 minutes, and then we're going to add our garlic. And it calls for 4 cloves of garlic, so we won't add quite that much, but we'll add a good amount. Just cook it till we get the raw smell out of our garlic. And then we're going to add some flour, 1/3 of a cup of all-purpose flour. That'll be good. We're going to let that cook to get the raw flour taste out. Just like anytime you're making a roux for a gravy or a sauce. And then we're going to add pour in chicken broth. Slowly pour in chicken broth. I'm going to use the broth from that I cooked the chicken with, but I don't think that's enough. So it calls for 6 cups of low sodium chicken broth, and I'm going to go ahead and use some vegetable broth for the balance. I'll let that heat up. And we're going to cut up our potatoes. Calls for 3 potatoes chopped. So as I mentioned in my last video, I've been fluctuating between 224 and 226, 227. So this morning I was 225. So we'll see what I am tomorrow morning. I have been reducing my insulin per my doctor's instructions by 3 units at a time, and I'm no longer on a nighttime insulin, which we'll see what my A1C is and what kind of effect that's having on it. And then I'm down to 25 units in the morning, and I'd say I'm averaging around 100 for my blood sugar. It goes higher and lower depending on what I've eaten. All right, so we're going to add our broth, add potatoes. Bay leaves, I don't have bay leaves. So we're not going to add bay leaves. I'm not going to add anything in their place because I don't have anything that's similar that I know of. We'll add salt and pepper to taste. And then bring mixture to a simmer, stirring frequently, and reduce uncovered and simmer for 20 to 25 minutes until potatoes are tender, stirring occasionally. Then once that happens, we'll add in our cooked chicken, our corn, and half and half. And I don't have half and half, so I'm going to use heavy cream because that's what I do have. I should confirm I don't have half and half. I don't think my half and half is good, so I will confirm that. But we're gonna let this come up to a simmer and then cook for 20 to 25 minutes to get our potatoes tender. Looks like our potatoes are about done. So now it's telling us to add our cooked chicken. So I'm adding the chicken that I tore apart and adding our corn, which is 2.5 cups fresh or frozen. And this is 12 ounces. Add that. And then I did have half and half because it lasts a lot longer than milk does. So I don't know what the reason is for that, but it calls for how much half and half? 1.5 cups of half and half. So it's about a half a cup, half a cup, half a cup. Stir that around and see if that looks good. We're going to let this simmer for 5 minutes. Okay, so it has been about 6 minutes at this point, so we will go ahead and turn this down. And I will add some soup to my bowl. Looks delicious. We'll top with some bacon. It's too hot to be able to tell. It's good. I should have added more poblano pepper. I shouldn't have been so timid on that. And so when I make this again in the future, I'll know to use half of a poblano. But other than that, I think it's delicious. Was very hot, so I burnt my mouth. You know how when you eat chili and it's too hot anytime you eat soup. So now I'm going to have that affected taste buds. But wanted to give you the nutrition facts. So this is high in fat because it has a lot of, it has the half and half in it. And so it does have 26 grams of fat. So a bowl of this is 497 calories. Our carbohydrates are 40, our grams of fiber are 3, so that brings us down to a net carb, I believe, of 37. I've seen this calculated differently where the net carbs come down only by half, so maybe 39 or 38 and a half. I'm not sure. So I'm not going to say the net carbs anymore because I'm confused about how that works and I need to get more information. Protein, we do have 27 grams of protein, and our cholesterol is under 100, so it's at 94 milligrams. So I don't think it's terrible. It's cold and I want something hot and filling, and this will fit the bill. So I think as a meal, it's not bad. It's not something that we're going to eat all the time. This does have bacon on it too, and it did call for cheese, so I could top it with cheese as well to equal out to that 497 calories and the 26 grams of fat. So, I mean, do with it what you will. I think it's a great recipe and one that I will use occasionally. I will freeze this now. And just have tonight's helping, and then I will have it left over just like I did with the chili. I'll put it in quart-sized bags, and it looks to me like I'm going to get 3 or 4 more quarts out of this, or quart-sized bags of it to put in my freezer. So thank you. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a like or a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to my channel, Healing Place Cottage. I post videos every Tuesday and Friday of diabetic friendly recipes, oftentimes low carb, which today is not, oftentimes gluten free, which I believe today is not either because we have flour in this recipe. So if you want to make it gluten free, you would need to use a gluten free flour as your thickener. But a great recipe nonetheless, and I thank you for tuning in today and cooking together. I look forward to cooking with you again soon. Take care, everyone.